During the first full week of March, Stockton University's Sarah and Sam Schofer Holocaust Resource Center hosted its 36th annual Holocaust Awareness Program through Hampton High School School Library. Mr. Lasasso's honors Holocaust and Genocide students acted as tour guides for the Anne Frank A History for Today Museum.
So the Anne Frank exhibit came about as an opportunity from Stockton University because they are offering a senior course here. There's two classes of it, a dual credit in the Holocaust and Genocide Studies. They offered to provide us with the exhibit here to pretty much show all of our student body what was going on with Anne Frank and give me a little more knowledge into the Holocaust and try to generate some more interest into this study so that people can always strive to learn more about it as they go on.
What do you think was the most interesting about the Holocaust exhibit?
The most interesting thing was, honestly, not about the Holocaust, but teaching the kids and seeing how interested they were in learning new things. And I did learn some things myself while teaching it. So that's really what the most interesting thing was.
Just how impactful everything was and how powerful the message was to really be careful about misinformation and abuse of power. I just think that there's a lot of parallels that can be drawn today that teach us really important lessons.
I think the Anne Frank exhibit was very beneficial. It was very kind of Stockton to enable us to have that. Mr. Lasasso's students did a very good job giving their guided tours. To me, I think what the take-home message was twofold. Number one, you do have people like Anne Frank and her family who did not give up hope. I mean, unfortunately, Anne Frank did die. It was not as a direct result. She was not sent to a death chamber or anything like that. She died of tuberculosis. But the ability to put her thoughts down on a paper allows those of us 70 years later to see that there can be hope. I also think it demonstrates how important it is to reflect on the past and understand what people went through. Without her diary, without that exhibit, obviously we weren't there 70 years ago. We don't know what happened, and by learning from it, we can hopefully act together to prevent another atrocity like that.
I think the most interesting about this Holocaust exhibit is going back to it and talking about the whole Anne Frank and just, teaching kids about it, talking about how she lived and how her experience was, and just having fun with it,
What was the most interesting thing about the Anne Frank Museum?
I think the most interesting thing about the Anne Frank Museum was how her book was, her diary was translated in many different languages.
I think the most interesting thing is how Anne writes about how the men and the women are separated, and then the sickly, the elderly, and children under 15 are sent straight to the gas chambers. And then the other ones, if they're see fit for physical labor, they get a tattoo on their arm, their heads are shaved, and then they get changed into camp uniforms.